So this is a journey of a young girl called Lara Croft, only by name right now. She's a young wannabe adventurer. Tomb Raider's been around for 16 years, and we've had many games, but the idea behind this was to take you right back to day one, take you on a journey and a story of a girl who wants to become an action-adventure hero, an adventurer, a treasure seeker. So in this game, you basically get to experience Lara Croft on her very first time out. She gets on the Endurance, and in a couple of days of setting sail, looking for the island of Yamatai, she's shipwrecked on an island. She doesn't know where her crew or her friends are, and very quickly she has to figure out what's going on. She has to survive these sort of harsh conditions, as well as uncovering the mystery, and eventually getting off the island. So really the idea is that we take you on this journey, this expose of how she becomes this strong person that we want her to be. We've spent a long time reimagining the core pillars of Tomb Raider, whether it be puzzle solving, exploration, and combat, but made them fresh. So now exploration is about dynamic traversal. It's about giving the player an opportunity to go into a space and have some freedom, have the opportunity to actually be an explorer, come around, move around, jump from place to place, no more ledge jumping, and we take that principle into all the other core pillars. And hopefully, by the time you finish the game, you'll feel like it is a Tomb Raider game in its heart, but with a fresh tint on top of it. One of the things that we wanted to make sure we achieved is that we don't just land Lara on the island and give her 2 guns and say, hey, go kill people, right? And go and get off the island in that way. We take you on an emotional journey all the way through to the point where you feel she's motivated to survive and protect her friends. And obviously get off this island. That's kind of the core thing here. But along the way, we start to see a girl that is evolving. She wants to understand what's going on more so than just say, I need to get off this place. And in order to do that, she has to sort of look around at the situations. We have these scavengers who've been on this island a very long time. They've been living here longer than Lara even realizes. And these guys are trying to protect their turf. They're trying to protect where they live. At the beginning of the game, we take you on this journey where she gets the bow, she uses it to hunt, she uses it to protect herself against the wolves, but very soon she's having to use it to fend off these islanders who really don't care who she is or care who the crew is. They just want to kill them to protect their space. So the idea is that we take the player on that journey up to the point of the first kill, where after the first kill happens, you feel motivated. You feel like, okay, this is not a situation that I'm in control of. It's not one where I can actually stop and have a conversation with these guys. They want to kill us, and they want to take us prisoner if they can. So what we're trying to do is set the motivation of the character up within the game. So it's not just a run and gun. You don't just come in and feel like I'm going to kill everybody around me. And none so more as the upgrade system. We have the survival skills and we have your gear skills. When you balance those systems out, you can play it in stealth, you can distract them, you can move these guys away, and you can go around behind them, and you can keep moving through the game. The idea is that we give you the opportunity to be able to play it to your style. So Tomb Raider has always been about exploration, but really when you look back at the old Tomb Raider games, there was very little exploration, apart from us telling you this linear story and moving you through the world. Now we've built a world where it's all about hub systems. We're not open world. So what we've tried to do is build these areas that when you come into them at first, you feel like they're massive areas. But I'm sort of stopped from progressing in certain ways because of my inability or through the gear that I don't have. As you play through the game, we upgrade your gear. We give you the ability to be able to give some XP or give some skill points to be able to buy new equipment. When you buy that new equipment or come across it in the course of gameplay, you can actually go back to these spaces using your fast travel system and re-explore them, re-traverse them. The simple things such as your climbing axe, which you use to be able to move around, gets improved by getting bow rope, where now you get your bow and arrow, you can attach rope to it, you can create zip lines to be able to zip into areas, also to be able to tag higher up areas and climb up to them. So really from our perspective, it's you have a story which you can play from start to finish, but as you go into the menu system and you start realizing there's still a lot of stuff that I haven't uncovered, you have the ability through our fast travel to go back in at any moment in time and re-explore them and start uncovering some of the things you may have missed first time through your gear gating. Now, to that effect, when you come back into a space, it's persistent world. And there's also sort of little systemic changes whereby if I come into a place first time round and it's nighttime, and I clear off the 2 or 3 people who were in that space at the time, when I play through the game and it may be daytime and I get my bow rope and I want to go back into those spaces, I will come back in, again it'll be daytime, but now there may be 2 or 3 people who are alerted because they've found the bodies from the people that you had to kill to move on. Or you could come across 2 or 3 people who are actually just working in that space. They're just doing what they'd normally do. So it's a living, breathing world. So our gear and our upgrade system comes in sort of two flavors. First flavor is that you're given elements that you need as your core. So your climbing axe, you start the game with the prying axe, which is just a half-broken tool that allows you to be able to open a door, and very quickly it's no use to you. You need to upgrade it, and that's where we teach you about salvage. Once you get into salvage, you start to realize that if I look for parts around the world, I can upgrade the abilities of the gear that I have. But really, we want to give the player the opportunity to say, I have choices. You know, it's not gonna make a difference to the ending of the game, but it makes a difference to your playstyle. So if you like melee, or you like stealth, or you like ranged combat, you get the ability to be able to go in and salvage equipment, trade in some points, and be able to upgrade your tools accordingly. So it wouldn't be Tomb Raider without tombs. So we've built sort of two different versions of tombs. One of the core story. As you play through, you start uncovering the mystery, you come across spaces which are part of the journey. You have to come across them in order to understand what's going on. And they're key epic moments. That's when you really feel like Lara is coming into herself. She's starting to get intrigue and interest in what's going on. When you finally raid that tomb, which comes up with a huge tomb raided, which is awesome at the end of it, it unlocks some additional places on your map. It also unlocks some of the story elements. So you really get a sense of, I'm now understanding and learning more, whilst also be given the opportunity to now feel like there's other places to go that I wouldn't have known about if I hadn't to take the risk to try and unlock this tomb.
No, 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 oh, don't do this to me, you northern bastard.
So the map system is a real guiding tool for us in many ways. One, it allows us to be able to understand where we've been, where our base camps are. As you go to the fast travel system, we want to give the player the opportunity to drop waypoints and say, here's where I am in the story. But now I want to go back and I want to re-explore somewhere because the gear that I've got now allows me to do something I wasn't able to do before. So I can teleport back and forth. It also gives me an opportunity to be able to just keep track of where all the items are in a more defined space. So for instance, when you're in the night hub, you go into the menu and it tells you that you've only unlocked, 10 of 25 things. You go into the map, and because you've started to look for them, we'll give you those waypoints about where in the general area they are, so you don't feel like you're just constantly running around searching every corner and nook and cranny. So the map system plays a lot for us, and it's a piece of equipment that you actually use quite a lot if you start going into the reach reversal, and it's a very, very handy thing to have. Upgrade system is about when I salvage and I find equipment all over the island, I can upgrade my pistol, my machine gun, my bow. It's not just it's sitting in my arsenal, so it's not sitting in a bank that I can go in and say, hey, I can purchase this now. I have to find them in the first place. So if I go and find an old rifle that has a great muzzle on the end of it, whereas I've got a great one with a great trigger, I can put the two of them together, and you'll soon start to see that that's what it's all about. It's about salvaging. It's about rummaging, finding pieces from old weapons and putting them back together to be able to make something that you need, like double magazine clips or silencers. One of the sort of foundational things that we did when we started reimagining Tomb Raider was that we didn't like the idea of the tail wagging the dog. We didn't like to build this world on paper and then have our engine dictate how it should look and how it should operate. So what we did was something a little bit different. We actually built the world on paper and said, here's what we want to try and achieve within our engine. So therefore, we wanted buoyancy, we wanted physics, we wanted sort of natural movements, animations that we've never had before, base camp system, and the likes of the hub system that you see. And we threw it out to the engine team to say, here are all the things that we want to do. Here's our engine. Can we take it apart and rebuild it? On the journey of rebuilding our engine for this game, we actually built Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light because they realized that the camera was actually something that we could detach and we could control more. And what you see when you play the game is that these learnings, these things that we've done with the engine, add to the emotion, add to the sort of the heightening of attention, whereas she's going through this tunnel and we break the camera off and put it over her shoulder and really sort of bring to life that situation in a way in which we haven't seen before. And the same then when it comes to verticality. bringing it up on the radio tower so that you kind of feel the sense of distance whilst you're moving towards the camera. So for us, some of the bigger things that we did in developing this game were things that were big risks, and one of them was breaking the engine apart and building it back up again to deliver this experience. The game is due to come out on March 5th, 2013. It's on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC.